Welcome to Missing Person Search Podcast. I am the host, Trisha Barretto. I'm a psychic medium, and I use my abilities to help locate missing people. We're going to get right into it because we have a lot of findings here, and I'm going to be jumping around. What you're seeing on the screen here are my findings. And I'll be jumping around. There might be duplicates. If there's duplicate entries, it just means that it's something I've gotten multiple times. Okay, this is for Mischa Johnson from Oahu, Hawaii, and Mischa was pregnant with her daughter Armani when she went missing. I'm not going to get into the whole backstory of this case because that's not the purpose of this podcast. The purpose of the podcast is for those that are searching, those out on the ground searching, the team searching, the family searching. That's who this is for. But there's enough, if you're so inclined and you're not sure what's happening with this case and the whole story behind it, you can Google it, and there's plenty of videos and things like that. But this is just all about my findings that can help locate Mischa's body. So I want to start in the very beginning, before I looked at maps, before I even knew any details other than where she was from. That's where I want to start. And it all started, I'm going to jump around, so I'm sorry about that, but I know I'm going to have to jump around. So at the very beginning, what I was getting was Beaver Dam, X marks the spot, hula hoop. And so this was before I even knew where Mischa's house was at, where her house was located at. And so I was able to translate Beaver Dam to Beaver Road. X marks the spot is area X, and hula hoop is hula loop. And those are actually roads. Hula loop and Beaver Dam is the corner by her house. X marks the spot is up north of that area. It's actually a training area on Schofield Barracks, and that is where Mischa, her body was taken from her home, believed to be taken from her home, and hidden somewhere. And it's not been clear if it's on Schofield Barracks or outside of the barracks, somewhere on the island of Oahu. So these findings are meant to help pinpoint a location as much as I possibly can, using my abilities to communicate with people in spirit, including Mischa herself, and just whatever insight I can pick up. So I felt when I got Beaver Dam and hula loop and area X marks the spot, I felt like I was being led from her home up north to the training areas, area X, and I believe there's like gun ranges and just like it's a training area on the barracks. And I really felt like in the very beginning, before I knew anything, that's where I was being led. It was almost like a trail. Now let me go back up here top. This was one of my automatic writings that I got in the beginning as well. You can see here there's numbers 134, 34. The question marks are just me not being fully clear. And, as a psychic medium, sometimes it's really hard, especially when we're looking at finding bodies in locations, it's not a science, right? These are we're dealing with energy here, and it's not a science. So it can be really challenging to understand what I'm seeing, and interpret it. That's the thing about this. It has to be interpreted. And as you can see, like I was able to interpret Beaver Dam to Beaver Road and hula hoop to hula loop. And X marks the spot to area X. I was able to translate those, I think, pretty accurately. And so that's what I try to do here with these findings. Hidden below brush was something I got in the very beginning. In the still of the night, I kept hearing, and steal, it took me a while in the beginning. I just thought it meant like steal something. But then the word steel started standing out to me as in like something made of steel, like hidden in something made of steel, possibly. Go past the docking station. I was never quite sure what that was. Fire hydrant. I know that there's like a firehouse up there near Area X on the barracks. This image here where I have surface and ground, and then her body above the ground but below surface, like hidden in something. That has been one of the constant things that I felt through working on this case. I have to say also, I should have said this in the beginning, but I've worked very closely with the family on this case, even doing a reading for the family with Mischa. So everything that I'm communicating here, I believe I've communicated with them. I've made videos for them. So there might be one or two things at the very end that I've added in today that they may need to look at. But again, this is really for the people that are really searching for Mischa's body. Okay, let's go down. Wide to narrow road, below deck and barge. I was hearing very Navy related things, like below deck and barge, and that really did not signal to me water. It more so signaled to me like below deck means like to me like underground, something underground, possibly a structure. I smelled smoke at one point in time when I was working on this. Luai, it felt like it was the name of a street, a road, and I didn't know what that was. 52.552, I didn't know what that was. Kind of looks like coordinates now that I'm looking at it. An open field, down hidden, fresh fruit sign, plums nearby, open door, closed door, eggs, enclosed trunk. Farms, shipping containers, Coco Loco barrels. So barrels has been another constant that I've seen throughout the whole time that I've been working on this. Kind of reminds me of barrels that maybe are used on a training field on the barracks. It's been thought over and over again that her body could have been placed in a barrel and been put into something or underground. When I got shipping containers, this was in the beginning, I didn't know, but there's shipping containers all over the island. So I'm aware of that now. Farms is something I want to return to. Sugarcane fields, juice, sugarcane juice. I was trying to make sense of the sugarcane I was getting. Old sugarcane water system. Big sign off-road, plum again, apples. By the way, I know that there's a street or a road called Plum. Beaver Dam, we already talked about that. X marks the spot, Area X. Near water, not in it, is something that I feel like there's some kind of stream of water, some type of water nearby where she was placed. But I don't feel that she's necessarily submerged in water. The gulch has come up several times, especially the Waikola Gulch on the north part of Schofield Barracks. The number 150 came up. Red roof came up. The red roof is actually not mine. So occasionally I will consult with other psychic detectives that work on missing person cases privately. And that's where the red roof came from. And there's about 3 pieces of information here If I ever share something that's not my findings and it's another psychic detective's findings, I always make sure to say that, because the red roof was not my finding, but Kole Kole gas station does have a red roof, and so does Dole Plantation. Lock box was something I heard. Locked box, alcove, brush fire destruction. Another thing that feels like it could be a street. Kuei, and I couldn't finish it. Willow tree, weeping willows. May not be a willow tree, but may look similar to a willow tree. The bay is something I heard. Wahi wahi, couldn't make sense of that. Open the door, go down, down. I'm always feeling like she's underground. Her body is underground, and not necessarily just in dirt. It feels like her body was placed into something, some type of object, some type of structure. It feels like a tight fit where her body has been placed, low to ground. Again, I go back up to this image that I drew on these notes here where it says surface, and then I feel her body is underneath the surface, and then there's the ground underneath her. Okay, it's dark there. Fire hydrant. What's behind Schofield was something that there was this feeling that I had where I kept wanting to rip, like, I'm looking at a map of Schofield Barracks, and I just have this feeling like I just want to rip the top layer off and look underneath. There's something about like always wanting to look underneath. Fall down, it made me feel like I'm going down again, underground. Hidden in plain sight is something I've heard several times that makes me feel like people could pass by where her body was placed and would never even know that her body was placed there. I heard south, drop down. Storm drains and manholes was a big one in the beginning, and it's also it's kind of weird that in the beginning, at the very beginning, before I knew hardly anything, before I looked at maps, storm drains and manholes was what I felt. And then at the ending of working on this case, which I don't think there's ever an ending until a body is found that is hers. But I started with manholes and storm drains, and as of today, I'm kind of closing again on similar type of structures, and I'll get to that towards the end of this. At one point, it even felt like there's a ladder or something to drop a body down, like there's an access point. We talked about Hula Loop, Kole Kole Road, water tank across from her home. That was something that was really highlighted to me. I was told that the water tank was closed off and there was no water in it. But there was always this highlight to me, even now just talking about it, just this dark energy. There was also across from her home, in front of the water tank is like a sewer drain on the street, on the curb, that I saw. And just that whole scene stood out to me, and I was really curious about it, and I couldn't get too much information about it. The barber, I was able to validate that already with the family. Hula was a word that I heard, and I didn't know how to place it because, I mean, there's so much on the island to do with roads, with hula, like luau's where they do hula. There's classes where people teach hula, so I didn't know how to place that. Luau as well, I did not know how to place. We talked about Kole Kole gas station, and also there's the road Kole Kole. The corner of Beaver and Hula Loop, where Kole Kole gas station is, the water tank that's across from her home, that whole corner is so highlighted to me. It was highlighted in the beginning, and even just now talking about it, that's a whole corner with all those things. Corner of Beaver and Hula Loop, There's also, I believe there might be shipping containers there. And then on one side of the corner is that water tank that's supposedly empty with construction gates around it. I heard the word Adams. I don't know if it's a person's last name, first name, if it's the name of a street. I don't know where to place that. Underground, underwater. So what this little doodle here is I feel like I'm in a car that's going like over a little, it's like a hill, or it goes like higher and then it drops down and then there's like water down at the bottom. This something pass. This felt like the name of a road or a location. Something pass. I don't know what that exactly is. Deep down in the earth. Again, underground structure and dirt. I can't say that enough, that it feels like her body was placed in a structure underground. Below deck, barge. That's also in the automatic writing. Old Navy locations in the area, because I was getting below deck and barge, and I have lots of people in spirit that I've communicated with, and I've heard several times like Old Navy stuff. In the Steel of the Night, I did change the spelling to STEEL, as in the word steel, because that's what I felt. Range Road, Trimble Road, in a Schofield, an auto detail, all these places felt very highlighted. They're very close to her home. Again, bay, wet closure. So that made me feel like there is water, there is moisture. Her body just may not be fully submerged in the way you would be like somebody would be if they were put into like an ocean or a body of water. This could be something that could be like a sewer or a manhole, something where water flows through, but it's not necessarily submerging an object. Lockbox, hornet's nest. I kept hearing hornet's nest over and over. And it really made me think, like, I kept hearing like walking into a hornet's nest, but not like, I almost feel like this is literal. So if there's hornets, there's an area where hornets are known to be, or there's a hornet's nest nearby, or something that's like a hornet, maybe like some kind of bee or something. This is that doodle from my automatic writing. This is exactly how I feel like her body's been placed, where she's in between the ground and the surface. Luau Lay, Old Sugar Cane Underground Water System, Kole Road. Again, if there's multiple entries, it means that I'm getting these things multiple times. And when spirit gives me things multiple times, I pay attention. That means that it applies here. Go deeper, bowling, X fence or barrier, white fence. This was something that I couldn't make sense of, but I kept feeling like it was something like, I don't know if her body was put into something that would be like white fencing or netting, or it's nearby, but it was like little white holes, so I'm not quite sure what that is. Fall down range. I felt like I wanted to fall down range road, go upstream. Again, I don't feel like her body's submerged in like a stream, but this gives indication of a location. Severed, which I feel like this is related to her body being severed. There's water, bunkers. Bunkers to me signal like an older part of the barracks, maybe Old Navy bunkers. This was something that really stood out to me. And I'll get to like, there's multiple ways this is going to look, but this was in the beginning. So I wrote like a well, but not a well. So that looks like, to me, it's almost like a manhole type of thing. Yeah, that's what it kind of feel. It may not be a manhole, but it kind of like it has that feeling and that look of what a manhole would be. It's like there's an entry point. It feels circular, and then you move it away, and then you go underground. Secret abandoned bunkers, ditch. That's there. Dirt around. Yeah, I feel dirt, and I feel a lot of greenery. Like, I even want to use the word like lush greenery, very much green, and overgrown. I got this multiple times. There was a couple songs I got multiple times. This is one of them. Under the Boardwalk song lyrics. And I couldn't figure out what the boardwalk was, because I believe in the song, they're talking about like the beach and a boardwalk. I just know there's a boardwalk on a trail. They call it a boardwalk. It's west of Schofield Barracks. There's like a hike, and there's like this little trail between all this like trees and brush on the hike, and they call it a boardwalk. That's the only boardwalk, like literal boardwalk, but I felt like maybe the boardwalk could be like a bridge and not necessarily a boardwalk. So I put under a bridge. Fence road stood out. The word docking stood out. I believe in my automatic writing there was something about like a docking station. Entry point and gate with drop off. I had an underwater feeling in my right ear for 3 days, and at this point, there's a difference when I feel water in my ear versus when somebody's been fully submerged in water. When somebody's been fully submerged in water, I feel like it feels different to me. It feels like a cold feeling and like my body hitting the water, versus somebody, either parts of their body or just a part of their body is underwater, which that feels more like my right ear feels like it's underwater. I got the word blazing, and I was trying, again, a lot of this is interpretation, so I'm trying to connect the dots, and so I started looking at businesses and maps, and I know that there's a place called Blazing Steaks down in dirt underneath this place is what I heard, and I was curious, is that referencing the barracks? This is the second song I got, Beach Boys song, Kokomo. The thing, I couldn't relate that, but if you go back and look at the lyrics of these two songs, I know that there's a Beach Boys surf lessons in North Shore, okay, but the Kokomo song is like, we'll get there fast and we'll take it slow. It's like a little place that only we know, and it feels like it's close by, like get there fast, but we'll take it slow. So for those searching, this song, Kokomo, and what's the other song, Under the Boardwalk, those are the two songs. Like, if you look at the lyrics, and by the way, I can't remember which song. It's either the Kokomo song or the Boardwalk songs, but there's one that references a steel drum. Okay, I think that's very important. That's very much highlighted to me. Nearby field, steel barrel, underground, dirt road, pearls. I kept hearing pearls even when I was on the phone doing a medium reading with the family. Pearls, there was an association to pearls with an object, but I kind of wonder if there's more of a reference to, there's pearl businesses. I guess they sell pearls in the North Shore and also at the Dole Plantation. Farm, adjacent to farm. This is a huge one. Farms and crops have come up so much. They've come up with people I've consulted in spirit. I was given crops. And And I even put check areas that connects farms to Buddhist places. And the reason why I'm saying Buddhist places, we're going to get to that. Okay. Now, I don't normally use divination tools when I'm working on missing person cases, but this case was, I don't know, I just felt so connected, and it felt so important to like try everything that I could possibly try to get more insight. So I really went deep, looking at everything, and because I kept hearing the whole time, leave no stone unturned. So it just kept having me explore, and everything that I was curious about and everything I was getting, I just kept digging deeper and deeper to try to see what I could get. So I did use the oracle cards. I even made some like oracle cards specifically for Mischa. I used dowsing rods on maps that I printed out. I use a pendulum. I use different oracle cards. I used automatic writing. What else did I use? Yeah. So, okay, look at oracle cards. Mountains, farm, Buddhist. This was something when I looked at the cards, the imagery of the cards, it really felt connected to mountains, farm, and places where like Buddhist, like religious places. So, okay. Victory and success was actually the last card that I got. No. I'm being reminded. I pulled some cards, and when I was putting this pull right here that you can see in the image, when I was putting these cards away, this card fell out, the victory and success card. And to me, that was Mischa telling me, regardless of what this looks like right now, there's going to be victory and success. And to me, that looks like justice and peace for her and the baby Armani and the family. So if you look at this imagery here, you can see, will this let me zoom in? I'm screen recording this on my phone, so we're going to find out if it's going to let me zoom in. I guess it will. Okay, so this first card kind of reminded me of Dole Plantation, but then like it also reminds me of crops, like a farm with crops. Second card is very Buddhist related, and if you can see, it looks like he's holding up the ground. Like it almost looks like I'm underground. I'm standing on the ground underneath, but I'm also holding up the ground. The mountains in the background, this feels like to do with going underground to me. Again, this is a circular thing, and if you look really close, let me see if I can zoom in. There's a stream of water. It's a circle. It kind of reminds me of a well or a manhole of some sort. Throat chakra can refer to Oahu, the island. Light. She looks like she's coming out from underground, and the light's shining in. This is all very imagery based for me. There's mountains behind her. She's showing a book. Well, I haven't heard this before, but I'm going to say it right now. It feels like a book of truth. This is very farm based to me. I'm not sure if those are peaches or what they are. They look like peaches. And then there's a walnut underground. And again, with the underground. Here, there's water. This is the beach, the shoreline, and there's a Buddhist. Looks like a Buddhist person. This three here, candles in the imagery, this just really reminded me of like her mom, and her sister. I kind of really feel like that's what that was. Base chakra, I can't remember what I translated this as, spirit. Again, the three hands go back to the three candles. It just reminds me of like her sister, and her mom. Let me go back here. And again, she's like on a hill, and she's looking at mountains, the horizon, the partnerships and alliances. I believe that spoke about her husband, and you can see the coloring in the skin. the coloring of it looks like a male arm and a female arm, and the tattoos on the arm is what it looks like. So I think that referenced her husband, deception and envy, and then the green heart chakra. Okay, let me get out of here. Okay. I was trying to figure out the easiest way to share this. Let's go to gauge and gauge. I think there's like a road. I think we're talking about a road gauge. I can't remember. Seen barrel with lid popped open repeatedly. I would say I'm pretty haunted by barrels, like a barrel, or it feels like a single barrel. I've just, the whole time, that's been like so consistent. I've been working on this case, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so. Tunnel, barge, barrel, rock salt, dirt, trees, livestock. Livestock I've gotten multiple times. I put cows, but it could be other livestock. Dairy farm, chewing sugarcane. Sugarcane is something I've gotten multiple times. Sheep. Feeling of being in training area near Area X. I felt that like multiple times, and I felt also that there's barrels out there. Just the word landmark. Okay, here's more findings. Let me zoom in here. This was automatic writing. Crystal, agriculture, irrigation system, old shipping yard, confined area, hopeful, last dance, hope above everything, dig down deep, Folgers coffee, open barrel, rugs, water facility, shampoo, crate and barrel, chicken and barrel. There's a location, a food place, I believe, called Chicken and Barrel to the east of Schofield Barracks. Tube, go down, feels, down, dirt below, tribe, in earth, severed, drown, underneath, gauge, range, tunnel, barrel, close farms, below deck, star, hope, plain sight, open area, night sky, the letter D, open view, late night, thoughts and fears open, granted entry, left unmarked. And then this was in reference to the cards I pulled, that I noticed that there was doubles of alliance, partnership, and lion. Okay, let me get out of here and go back. You'll notice, like I've mentioned a few times already, that you'll hear me repeat myself because I've gotten the same things over and over and over again. And the thing about when I work with spirit for missing person cases or anything important, even when I'm doing medium readings, communicating with people's loved ones in spirit, people in spirit will say the thing over and over and over again when it matters, when it means something, when there's an importance there. So I'm not trying to be redundant here, but these things that I'm saying, like tunnel and barrel, and just the things I'm repeating, it's because spirit puts an emphasis on giving me these findings. Dirt, trees, livestock, dairy farm, chewing sugarcane. Okay, I already said that. Okay, we're here. This was another card pull that I got, and if you remember the other cards that I just went through, that was a whole separate day. Again, the throat chakra could be a reference to Oahu. I can't remember what the sacral chakra was. There's wisdom, and it looks like he's on a farm, and there's the lion, and there's the alliance again with the arms, and this again with feeling like underground structure to me with mountains in the background. Okay. Tribe. I put tropical tribe business. I think there was some kind of business, maybe the North Shore. Rainbow Road, Rainbow Bridge, because I heard Rainbow Road, but I was trying to connect and see if that meant Rainbow Bridge. Chain link fence. I feel like I've gotten that multiple times. I feel like I saw banana tree leaves, a tower, sharp right turn, Mount, forgive me for mispronouncing any of these names. I'm not from the area. So Mount Ka'ala off Waianae Valley Road has a boardwalk. That's the one I think I was talking about with the hiking. Crops. I've gotten a lot of crops. I would say I've spoken to the king of Hawaii, and he gave me crops, the word crops. Closed road sign and rocks. I felt like I was like looking at the end of a road with like a road closure sign and like lots of gravel and maybe even like mountainy rocks. A well, I've shared that a little while back. Fresh water source, maybe nearby. Locked box. Chain fence again. Chain links. Tunnel. This was one of the most recent things that I've gotten, and this was almost 2 weeks ago. And what it felt like, what I was looking at was like the ground and then like some kind of hole that I'm not clear if it's a covered hole, like a manhole, or if it's like a pipe or something. But it looks like it's like a ground and there's like greenery, maybe even cement. And then there's this circular thing. And I don't believe in coincidences. So I consulted this. I believe it might be the same because I consulted maybe 3 psychic detectives. And I believe the one that gave me the red roof actually gave me something yesterday. Now, she doesn't know about any of my findings. I don't know hers until she tells me. She's given only the red roof. And then yesterday, she mentioned 3 things, and it's not here in my notes, but I'm going to share it. She mentioned a road that starts with the letter F, a salvage yard, and then the word culvert. Now, I don't think she even knew what the word culvert meant, because when spirit gives us things, sometimes they're just words and we just hear them. But when she said culvert, I Googled it. And sure enough, a culvert is like a big circular tube to allow water to flow so it doesn't get stagnant. Sometimes, like a lot of times, they're underground and there's like an entry and exit point where the water goes in and out from that you can see. But if you Google culvert, you'll see it looks just like this drawing I did almost 2 weeks ago. And so, again, I don't believe in coincidences. And I think that Spirit is trying to, show us here that something that looks like this drawing, that looks like a culvert, can be a location either her body is in or very, very close to. Today, I heard tar on road and bridge. These are my findings as of today. Today is October 10th, 2024. Like I said, until people's bodies are found, it's never really a closed case for me. And I always have my line of communication open to Spirit, to Mischa, to her loved ones on the other side, her father, those that are helping to communicate with me. I wish that it was as easy as them giving me an address and I'm able to receive and hear that address clearly, and people could just law enforcement could just go to the addresses and find the bodies of these missing people. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It's not a science. And so, I have to write down and try to interpret everything that I'm getting from Spirit. And it's challenging. It's really challenging. And especially when we're looking at for a specific location, that's the whole objective here. So the hope with this podcast is, I've been working on missing person cases for 5 years privately. I don't typically, this is not something I do, sharing my findings publicly. But I was really inspired because of Mischa, and also another similar case that I've worked on a little bit Mamta Bayat, very similar case. And so, with the findings that I've gotten for Mischa and baby Armani and Mamta, I've wanted to make public because I know that there's other people there. Well, there's multiple people searching, and the people that are searching, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's people that are showing up for the family, searching for the family, whether it's other psychic mediums that are trying to interpret and put the pieces together and validate each other's insight to make sense of it. This is a collective effort. I couldn't do this without spirit. We all need each other. And that's the whole point, of people showing up, and even animals and spirit showing up to help to give us guidance and clarity where Mischa and Armani's body can be found. Mischa, I believe she was 6 months pregnant with baby Armani. And so, I like to acknowledge Armani too, because that's a human soul as well, right? That's a soul too. And she was part of this horrific experience. And so I want to give them, space here. What else can I share, Spirit? I keep hearing the word closed right now, so I don't know where to apply that to. If and when I get more insight, what I'm going to do is just update it and put it on this podcast, put it up on YouTube. I'm trying to find other places. I think the podcast, once I figure out, I'm looking for places where I could put video podcasts. So that way more people can view this insight. If you're listening to this somewhere like an audio version of this, please know there is a video version on YouTube. And hopefully there's going to be one on Spotify and wherever else I can host a video version, because you need to see this stuff. I don't think audio is enough. You need to see it. You need to be able to go back and reference this. And so I hope you can. If you need to take screenshots of this video, go back, pause it, take screenshots. The point of this is to share it far and wide. So these people, these souls, their bodies can be found, and there can be justice to the furthest extent of the law. So there can be peace for their souls and for their loved ones. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it. And hopefully that's why you're in it too. What else can I say here? Is there anything else? Please interact with this video, because the more you like, the more you subscribe, the more you share it, I believe it gets bumped up in the algorithm for more people to see it. Unfortunately, that's the way it all works with these platforms. So, not many people are going to see it unless you like it, you comment, you subscribe, you share it. Definitely if you're somebody on the ground, make sure you share it. And, the best tool that I could ever give anybody, if you have a missing person, if you're involved in this case and you're looking for Mischa's body, a family member, the best, most useful tool you're always going to have is your own intuition. You don't have to be a psychic medium for Mischa to be communicating things with you. Maybe you're a friend of Mischa's. Maybe you're a family member and you're like, well, I'm no psychic. You don't have to be a psychic medium. You're able to get insight just the same way I am. The problem is you're probably not able to recognize where it's coming from, who's giving it to you, or that it's even real. And so you may be questioning certain thoughts and ideas that you're getting around looking for Mischa, or where to search for her body. But trust your intuition, follow your own gut instincts, okay? Because it's just profound the way that our intuition tries to lead us, and the way spirit uses our intuition and our own abilities. Everybody has these abilities, I'm no gatekeeper. I teach people mediumship all the time, and it's very easy. So just trust what you're getting. Write it down. If you're in the family and you're having dreams of Mischa, or you're having visions or premonitions or anything, write the stuff down, because it can add up, and share it between the search team. Don't just write it off or just think, oh, I'm being crazy or I'm being paranoid or, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I should say anything. Say something. Say something, write it down, share it. You never know what little piece of information, something that you might think is insignificant and unimportant and makes no sense, could be the missing piece that people need when they're out there searching, that's going to locate Mischa's body. I just keep seeing rocks and water. I feel rocks, water, dirt, like grass or like greenery. I almost feel like I can touch it, and I feel almost a little cold, like the water's cold. And I'm just like, right now while I'm speaking, I'm getting this. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else that I can leave here in this video for those that are searching for Mischa's body? There is a big heartfelt gratitude that I feel coming from Mischa for those that are still out there searching, that haven't given up. Family, friends, people in the Oahu community. There's such a big heartfelt thank you for not losing hope, for sacrificing your time, your energy, just your resources being out there. And I hear, please don't give up. Please don't give up. I don't know if there's like a certain timeline that Spirit knows that her body's going to be found, but I have hope. I know hope was a word that came up multiple times that I felt was coming from Spirit, and that could directly be from Mischa herself. And there's just so much gratitude. I'm literally like holding like back tears right now, and I don't feel like they're mine. I feel like this is Mischa coming through, because before I even got on to do this video, I told her to come through, and I told her if there's anything that I've missed, please like come through while I'm doing the video and I'll say it. So remember, keep in mind, this is not just audio, this is video. If you're searching, go back, look at the things, use your own intuition. Again, all this stuff has to be translated, and it's subject to translation and interpretation. And so it's always possible that I could be wrong. And it's always possible that I may have misinterpreted something that Spirit was giving me. So do use your own intuition, even though they're my findings, because Mischa and Spirit may be giving you something more about something that you're looking at here. I keep going back because I'm like, is there anything else, Spirit, right now that I could leave here that's helpful? Anything else, Spirit? I do feel like water underground. I do feel like water. This would be water under concrete. There's like this again with the in between this right here, the surface and the ground, like where her body's been placed. There could be water flowing in and out. It could be very little water. It could be like maybe sometimes there's higher levels of water, and at other times there's lower levels of water, because it kind of feels that way. The water feels cold to me. Hold on a second. Let me go back down here to the tar on the road. That was interesting. That was something I got today. And I feel like there's crops like nearby, and then there's like tar on the road. I don't know exactly if that means like, how like there's lines of tar sometimes, I guess, when they try to fill the cracks in the cement on like roads and stuff. I don't know if that's what that means, but I almost feel like I can smell tar. Like, I wonder if this means like there's like a road is being freshly tarred right now in the area where her body's located at. I can almost smell it. Like, and to me, that means that that's very recent if I can smell it. But I'm not quite sure. I can't say with certainty. Again, culvert came from another psychic detective I consulted, and this was my image, which looks like a culvert. So I would say anything that looks like this should definitely be checked, maybe checked multiple times. And I feel like stuff like this, if this is a culvert, there's stuff like this all over the island. But I'm really I'm always pulled to Schofield. I'm pulled a little bit north of Schofield. In the beginning, I was pulled a little bit south of Schofield. But I can't give a specific area because all these findings I have, there's so much of this all over the island. But to me, there's things that speak, when I heard crops, and the king of Hawaii gave me the word crops. And there's Buddhist places. There's only certain places where there's crops and Buddhist places. So it's definitely worth looking at those places a little bit more closely. Yeah. Thank you, Mischa. Thank you, everybody in spirit. Thank you's not even a big enough word for the way that you've come through to bring insight. Thank you to everybody out there searching. Please don't give up. Please take care of yourselves. Please take really good care of yourselves and each other. I think, speaking to the king of Hawaii, that your community, is very strong, and don't make me cry, please. There's a lot of strength in numbers, and the more closely that you guys can come together and help each other, and looking for Mischa and anybody, in Hawaii, I always think there's strength in numbers, but specifically I'm speaking when it comes to looking for Mischa's body. There's strength in numbers and the community just pulling together. I know you all have done that so much already, but continue to do that and take care of each other through all of it is very important. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? I don't know why I'm seeing a bicycle. I know that's so random, but I just see it. I can't see exactly what the bicycle looks like, but I just felt compelled at that moment to say bicycle. So I don't know where that comes in. But again, I will do an update video if I get more. I'm sure I will get more, whether it's from me or any of the psychic detectives that I've consulted. And psychic detective, I kind of use that interchangeably with psychic mediums that use their abilities to help locate missing people and work on cases like this. So it's just a lot of labels. I have three labels. I don't want to add another label to my name, but this is something I do and I've done for 5 years. I've been working privately, and now I'm just, when I'm working on a missing person case, I'm going to do the ones that I feel called to do publicly, that I can share on this podcast publicly. But there are some cases where I'm working with the family where I'm requested to not share it publicly. I have to say, a lot of these missing person cases are the result of murder. And so there's a lot of legal stuff happening behind the scenes. And so sometimes I need to hold off on sharing my findings publicly because of that, or things around that. But, a lot of cases, especially when I see mothers, when I see children, when I see people of color, because I feel like the media doesn't always give, period. The media sucks, okay? The media doesn't give enough awareness and enough attention to these kind of cases that I work on. They suck, okay? I can't say that enough. And I don't like them, and I don't trust them, and they could always be doing more. But they want to do what's trending and what's a benefit for them as a media company. And so, I think it's important that we share this stuff ourselves. And I think that it's really important that you use your own intuition when you're taking findings from psychic mediums and their intentions too, because not all psychic mediums are created equal. And I've learned that in trying to share some of my findings. I don't want to speak negative of psychic mediums, but not all of them are on YouTube are great. I think some of them are really lazy. Some of them are doing it for views, and that's it. I'm going to shut my mouth there. there are some that are great and their hearts are in it. And I'm so grateful when I encounter others like that, or like the psychic detectives that have helped me just with the few things that they've given. You know, like I said, just those few things alone can make a world of difference for those on the ground searching. So share, like, subscribe, tune in. I am going to be doing a video for Momta Bayat very soon. And again, I'll update another video for Mischa when I have more findings to share. I hope this was useful to those searching, whoever and wherever you are. Please let love guide you. I feel like, you know, along with your own intuition, I think love is one of the most powerful tools. And if we could just come together in love to help in love, you know, it would make our world such a better place. And maybe some of these things could be not only prevented, but like there could be more justice happening and more bodies found. So always lead with love as much as you can. And for the searchers, you know, be safe out there searching. Be safe, be aware. Use your phones to take photos and videos, and just follow protocols to be safe and to not obstruct any possible evidence. And I feel cold water again. Okay, thanks for watching.